While cool powers are essential in creating magic systems, Sanderson's second law of magic states that limitations are greater than powers when creating engaging magic systems and stories. Let's dive in. In Sanderson's essay, which I've linked below in the description, he differentiates between three types of limitations: weaknesses, limitations, and costs. Limitations are things magic cannot do. This could be on a macro level, a limitation to an entire magic system, or on a micro level, a limitation to one ability within a larger system. Mistborn, for example, is a magic system limited by metals. None of the abilities are possible without having metals in your system. The telekinesis ability is even further limited. Characters cannot just move metal around in any direction, but instead can push the metal directly away from them or pull the metal towards them. Weaknesses are things that enemies can exploit. The Avatar: The Last Airbender magic system is a great example of this. Each element has built-in weaknesses to exploit, the biggest one being that a bender can't bend without their element. The final type of limitation is cost. This is the list of potion ingredients required to make an invisibility potion, the personal energy it takes to cast a spell, the offering up of something in order to use magic, or that using magic makes you slowly go insane. Building in limitations to your magic system and to your characters is essential for a compelling story. Iron Man is a great example of this in action. Well, actually not Iron Man, but Tony Stark. We know Tony's superpowers, his mind and his money, but the Iron Man movies also show us Tony's weaknesses. He cares more about money than people.
What do you say to that?
Absolutely ridiculous.
Contrast that to Ironheart's introduction in Wakanda Forever. I'm not sure what Riri's weaknesses might be, if she even has them. Her character's lack of limitations, or at least the lack of focus on them, creates an uninteresting narrative. Tony's limitations force him to struggle and fight and grow as a character, while Riri's lack of struggle makes her forgettable. This is the same reason I turned off She-Hulk on episode 1. Through the Infinity Saga, Bruce Banner was interesting because he struggled to control Hulk. His anger created tension and provided some of the best moments in the entire Infinity Saga. In contrast, She-Hulk was boring because the narrative did little to set up limitations to her abilities. Really, it went out of their way to make sure we knew she didn't have any, and therefore her character created no tension.
Well, here's the thing, Bruce. I'm great at controlling my anger.
My examples are sticking mostly to Marvel in this video, but there are so many great examples throughout the fantasy genre. Comment your favorites. I use these examples because Iron Man and Ironheart essentially have the same powers. On the surface level, Hulk and She-Hulk are the same superhero. It demonstrates and highlights the fact that most of the time powers are not original. Where magic systems and powers become compelling is in the limitations, weaknesses, and costs built into the magic system. Tony Stark's storyline in the Infinity Saga focused on his limitations and took the time to explore them. Between learning he sold weapons to terrorists, realizing his lack of care for people would eventually make him lose Pepper, and creating a machine that ended up killing thousands. In the same way, magic systems are more engaging with depth. A proper limitation should provide a lot of exploration and a lot of depth to your world and your characters. This is very obviously the second video in a video series because this is the second law. Check out the first by clicking the card. And make sure to hit that subscribe button because part 3 is coming soon.